Hey everyone, I'm Marian Updike, and today I want to show you the basic principles of how to use this machine, the BTE. This machine is located in the outpatient therapy department in the hand therapy section of outpatient therapy. This machine does a lot of different features. It is a really smart machine, but what I want to show you today is just if you're coming in as a treating therapist, how you're able to use this just as a general exercise tool. So the components of the BTE is the big frame of this itself. The tools behind it, the different tools will fit onto the machine to work whatever particular exercise you're aiming for. There's a poster above behind the tools that will also show specific work tasks that you're aiming for. And the other big piece is the computer that goes with the machine. So if you're a treating therapist walking in wanting to use this, the first thing you have to do is turn it on. So if the computer screen is black, that means the whole machine is off. And to turn the machine on, the orange button located at the bottom of the machine, just flip it up to turn it on and you'll see the orange light come on. And then with that, the computer will start to ramp up. And this really just takes about a minute or so for everything to come up. And if you get that message on the computer, just click enter just to start Windows normally. Alright, so in addition to the video, I do have a post-it note on the computer screen that breaks down the different steps of where you would click to get into the computer for how to set up to be able to use this, to be able to add resistance to each tool, because that's key with using this. So once this opens up, just X out of any windows that pop up. The icon you want to open is the one located at the top left of the computer screen. So double click this to open. And you'll see this box come up here. It's just part of the machine starting up. So just wait for this to go away. Okay, once that goes away, in order to be able to use this, just in the most general, basic way, click Treatments, which is located at the left side of the screen. From here, you're going to click Chart Setup, click OK, and now it's going to give you different pictures of the different tools that you can select. So I'm going to select the large steering wheel first. So double click this, and from here you have to select a description of what you are addressing with the tool. It honestly doesn't matter what you click, you just have to click something. So for the large steering wheel, I'm just going to open large steering wheel. Now the screen looks like this, and you'll see your big steering wheel over here to the left. So just in the most basic way of using this, to up the resistance, there are arrows over here to the right side of the computer screen. This is where you're going to adjust your resistance to have more resistance with the tool you're using. So to put this on, select the tool that you're using from the wall, and you'll see where there's, I guess it's kind of squared off at the bottom. So with selecting the first tool that you want to use, you'll see that there's a pointy end that's going to go into this component. Sorry, I don't know my terminology well with this. But basically, you're going to fit this in until you feel it kind of fall down into the groove. And then you tighten this. I always have to play around to make sure I'm going the right direction. But to tighten this, you're going to go clockwise. To loosen it, counterclockwise. So tighten this all the way. Now this is on here. If this is too tall, for example, you can lower this. There's a toggle that's over, it's hanging, it has a little place where it hangs that has up or down, that you can lower this machine up or down. So I'm just going to use it like it is right here for now. And when you test it out, you can feel that it moves very freely. So to add resistance is where we are going to come back over to the computer and click the up arrow to add resistance. For this one, I usually go, at least a couple of numbers, but test it out and see how it feels to you. If you feel like it's enough resistance for a patient to do, like this, for example, I might do for like a minute or so, one direction, a minute or so, another direction. Just kind of whatever you're working for. So once you get the resistance that you like, you can then work on, whatever motion you were targeting. What's cool with this, let's say if you want to work on more shoulder flexion, you can rotate this whole device by pulling this lever, and you can turn this at either an angle. So let's say you don't want to work the steering wheel at this level. Let's say you want to work the steering wheel at an angle, or if you want to place this vertical. You can adjust the height of this machine by using this to go up or down. It's easier to adjust this if this machine is at a neutral height for you. And to adjust the angle of this, there's a lever here that you pull up, and you'll see numbers on the side of the cylinder, and these numbers indicate where the angle is going to be. And pretty much you need the dot lined up with the number in order to get this lever to go back down, to lock into place. So you have to lock it back into place in order for it to stay there. So then from here, you could raise this on up, and you could address more shoulder flexion, more endurance, just different types of things. So let's say you're finished with this tool. In order to take this off and change it out, I'm just going to lower this back down to where it's easier for me to use. You could leave this at the angle, or you could go ahead and prop it back up straight or horizontal. This is what I'm talking about. So loosen this up. You're going to go counterclockwise to loosen until this will pop out. And I'll put this away. So you can select any other tool from the machine. Just for example, I'm going to select this tool in particular. You can go ahead and put this on here. And again, you're going to tighten this back up clockwise until it's all the way tight. But you want to change the resistance now. So from the computer, where the original picture I had selected was the big steering wheel, click this picture and it takes you back to the screen where you can select the different tools that you want to use. So I'm going to select the D-ring tool that I have on the machine. And this is where you have to select a description in order to open this up. So just click any description, it really doesn't matter. Now it's opened up. Now this is a case where sometimes opening this up, the resistance level for whatever reason is super high. So I'm just going to drop this all the way back down to near 0 to start with, and maybe to start at 2 or 3, and just get a feel for this, of how this resistance feels before you adjust it or before you have your patient use this. Now this ring I don't like in this angle. What I'm going to go ahead and do is put this ring into the position that's more comfortable, or how I'm planning to use this with the patient, and then we'll tweak the resistance to where it feels like it should be. So to change the angle of this cylinder, again, you pull out the lever and then you just rotate this down. I'm going to go with the number 3, which means it's relatively horizontal. And this is actually a pretty good height for the machine, but you can tell that this is pretty loose. So we're going to tighten this back up a little more and go back over to the arrows. And from here, I kind of go back and forth. You can move the computer closer to you. Just play around with the resistance arrows while you're using this. It just kind of saves some time. So once you get your resistance, you can have your patient work on more forearm supination, pronation. You could raise this up higher if you wanted to work on more shoulder stability. You can also, lower this down and then rotate the whole cylinder if you want to work more. I'm going to lower down some more. If you wanted to work more at this angle. So you can play around with not only the different tools, but also play around with the different height that you're using, the angle of the cylinder, just so that you can kind of maximize whatever tool that you're using, and it just kind of saves time from switching back and forth multiple times. But play around with it, and it's a really fun machine to use once you get a little bit of practice with it.